My boss drove a Tesla. I couldn't afford new tires. He got quarterly bonuses while I got a $50 gift card. Then he told me the timing wasn't right for my raise after I'd just made the company $18 million. So I stopped working the 30 unpaid hours a week that kept everything running. 3 months later, he was fired for wage theft and I got his job. Here's how documentation beat exploitation. My name is Kira Mendoza. And this is how I learned that sometimes the best weapon isn't revenge, it's just stopping the bleeding. 3 years ago, I was 28 and working as IT operations manager at Crestline Solutions, a Denver software company providing inventory management systems to retail chains. I managed our entire technology infrastructure, servers, databases, security systems, software licenses, vendor contracts. Everything that kept the company running. When I started, our systems were a disaster. Outdated software, security vulnerabilities, vendors we were overpaying by 40%. My first year, I modernized everything. Cut our IT budget by $200,000 while improving performance. My boss, Mitchell Hargrove, was the CTO. Late 40s, expensive watches, perfectly styled salt and pepper hair. Talked constantly about optimizing resources and doing more with less. At my 1-year review, he shook my hand. Kira, you're exactly what this company needed. Keep this up, and you're looking at a senior role with significant compensation growth. I believed him. Year 2, I worked harder. We landed 3 major retail clients, Target, Nordstrom, and Summit Foods. Combined, $18 million in new annual revenue. But our infrastructure couldn't handle the load. I spent 6 months upgrading our entire system architecture. Nights. Weekends. Holidays. I missed my brother's wedding for a data migration. Stopped seeing friends. My apartment became just a place to sleep 4 hours before driving back. I lived on gas station coffee and protein bars. My hands tremored from caffeine. I'd lost 12 pounds I didn't have to lose. But I told myself it was temporary. I was building my future. When the migrations completed flawlessly, Mitchell called me in. Kira, exceptional work. You saved us from catastrophic failure. I'm putting you up for Senior IT Operations Manager with a $25,000 raise. You've earned it. When? Quarterly review. 3 months. Consider it done. That night, I called my mom for the first time in 2 weeks. I'm getting promoted. Everything was worth it. 3 months later, I sat in the conference room wearing the navy blazer I'd bought for this moment. Mitchell walked in with Diane Sutherland, our VP of Finance. Kira, we need to talk about compensation. Given the current economic climate, we're implementing a temporary freeze on all salary increases and promotions. I stared at him. I'm sorry, what? It's temporary, Diane said. Just until Q1. We need to be conservative. But you promised. I know this is disappointing, Mitchell interrupted. But we need team players who understand the bigger picture. You'll get your promotion. Just not right now. My throat tightened. Mitchell, I worked 80-hour weeks for 6 months. I missed my brother's wedding. And we appreciate that. But this decision is final. That night, I sat in my car in the parking garage for an hour, staring at my steering wheel. When I got home, I pulled up Crestline's quarterly earnings report. Q3 revenue, up 47% year-over-year. Profit margins, highest in company history. Record profits. And they were freezing my raise. I looked at my student loan balance. $73,000. I'd been planning a huge payment with the raise money. I had $847 in my checking account. Rent due in 5 days. I ordered $8 Chinese takeout. It arrived cold. I ate it standing over the sink, crying silently. That was the first night I realized something was very wrong. October. Mitchell got a new Tesla. Gave everyone a parking lot tour. Treated myself after a good quarter. Life's short. I drove a 2009 Civic with 180,000 miles and bald tires my mechanic said were dangerous. November. The executive team flew to Miami for a strategic retreat. 5 nights at $800 per night. I processed the expense report. I'd taken 1 vacation in 3 years, a camping weekend I cut short for a server issue. December. Holiday party. CEO Colin Bradford announced executive bonuses. Record-breaking year. Leadership deserves to be rewarded. My gift, a $50 Amazon card and a company water bottle. I went home and cried in the dark. January. Q1 reviews. I prepared documentation of my contributions. 3 major implementations. $200,000 in savings. 0 outages in 18 months. 20 minutes later, I walked out destroyed. Kira, we're holding off on the promotion. The timing isn't right, Mitchell had said. You said Q1. Things change. We need sustained performance. I've been here 3 years. What do you need to see? Mitchell's expression cooled. I'm going to be honest. Your attitude lately has been concerning. You're focused on title and money instead of the mission. You've been leaving at 6 instead of staying late. You declined to come in Saturday. That's not leadership quality we promote. I felt slapped. I've been working 60-hour weeks for 2 years. Leadership isn't about counting hours. It's about commitment. Are you committed to this company, Kira? Or are you just here for a paycheck? I stared at this man in his $400 chair, wearing his Rolex, who'd just returned from Miami. I'm committed, I whispered. Good. Then let's table the promotion and focus on the work. I went to the bathroom, locked myself in a stall, and had a panic attack. Heart racing. Couldn't breathe. Vision blurring. When I finally stood, I looked at myself in the mirror. Dark circles. Hair needing a cut. Same blouse I'd worn twice this week. I pulled out my phone with shaking hands. Started taking screenshots. Every email where Mitchell promised promotions. Every project with my name on it. Every expense report showing executive spending during the freeze. Created a folder, documentation. Started keeping records of everything. I didn't know what I'd do with them. I just knew I needed to protect myself. For the next month, I documented everything. Every time Mitchell asked me to work late without overtime, 3 times weekly. Every project outside my job description, vendor negotiations, financial analysis, security audits. Every meeting where he presented his strategies I'd written, systems I'd built. I started arriving at 8:30 instead of 7. No one noticed. I started leaving at 5:30 instead of 8. Mitchell noticed. Cutting out early, he'd say, walking past at 5:35. He'd look disappointed. Like I was letting him down. Then I discovered something that changed everything. Reviewing software license renewals, I noticed our entire operation ran on 17 critical third-party systems. All with annual licenses I'd personally negotiated and managed. All with staggered renewal dates. And I was the only person with admin access to most of them. I pulled up my original offer letter. Position, IT Operations Manager. Salary, $75,000 annual. Hours, 40 hours per week. Responsibilities, manage day-to-day IT operations, coordinate with vendors for routine maintenance, provide technical support, maintain system documentation. Nothing about infrastructure architecture. Nothing about enterprise migrations. Nothing about 60-hour weeks. I'd been doing 3 jobs for 1 salary. For 3 years. While Mitchell took credit and got bonuses. That's when I understood. They didn't need me to be excellent. They needed me to be compliant. I'd been both. But excellence without boundaries is just exploitation. So I chose boundaries. I scheduled a meeting with Mitchell, discussion regarding role clarification and compensation structure. I placed my printed offer letter on his desk. I want to discuss my role and compensation. He sighed. Kira, we've been through this. I'm not asking for a promotion. I'm asking for clarity. According to my offer letter, I was hired for day-to-day IT operations, 40 hours weekly at $75,000. But I'm managing infrastructure architecture, vendor negotiations, system migrations, security oversight, working 60 to 70 hours weekly. I'd like to understand if my role has officially changed. We all wear multiple hats, Kira. That's how companies work. We're a 200-person company with $45 million in revenue. I'm happy to continue if my compensation and title reflect the actual scope. Otherwise, I'd like to return to my original responsibilities. Are you threatening to quit? I'm requesting written clarification about my job expectations and compensation. This is what I meant about your attitude. You're making this about money instead of being a team player. I've been a team player for 3 years. I've sacrificed my health, my relationships, my time. I'm asking to be compensated fairly. That's not attitude. That's self-respect. Fine. I'll draft something and send it to you. I'd appreciate that in writing by end of week. He never sent anything. The next Monday, I made a decision. I started working exactly 40 hours per week. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Full lunch break, actually left the building. When Mitchell sent a project at 4:47 p.m. Friday, thanks for flagging. I'll add it to Monday's queue. When he asked me to work Saturday, unfortunately, I'm not available weekends. If this requires weekend work, I'm happy to discuss overtime compensation or hiring a contractor. Monday morning, he called me in. Kira, you're not being a team player. I'm working the hours in my offer letter. 40 hours managing day-to-day operations. If you need additional hours or responsibilities, I'm happy to discuss revised compensation. This isn't how we do things. Then I'd like documentation of how we do things. Updated job description. Clear expectations. In writing. You're really going to play these games? I'm not playing games. I'm asking for clarity any professional deserves. If that's a problem, I'm happy to discuss with HR. I'll talk to HR. He didn't. Instead, things got uncomfortable. Mitchell stopped inviting me to strategy meetings. Assigned a major authentication migration to an outside consultant instead of me. I need someone who goes the extra mile. Diane started CCing Colin on routine emails, adding unnecessary oversight. My coworker Tessa pulled me aside. Kira, you used to stay late with us. Now you're leaving at 5 while we're here until 8. It's making us look bad. That hurt. Tessa, I'm working my contracted hours. That's not making anyone look bad. I know, but Mitchell's asking why you're not committed anymore. Tessa, are you being paid overtime? No. We're salaried. Are you doing work outside your job description? She hesitated. Everyone does. That's just how it is. It doesn't have to be. I documented that conversation too. In March, the consultant Mitchell hired made a critical error during authentication migration. Didn't configure failover protocols, something I would have caught immediately. Tuesday morning, 8:47 a.m., authentication platform crashed. 200 employees couldn't log in. Client portal down. Customer calls cancelled. Mitchell called, panicked. Kira, fix the authentication system immediately. I'm working on the security audit you assigned yesterday. That's my priority per your email. This is more urgent. Then I need you to reprioritize in writing and clarify which projects should be delayed. Kira, are you seriously doing this? The system is down. I understand this is urgent. But I need clarity on priorities in writing so I can manage my 40-hour week effectively. If you need emergency projects outside planned work, we should discuss whether emergency response should be added to my job description. Silence. I'll call the consultant. The consultant took 8 hours and $12,000 to fix what I could have fixed in 45 minutes. I documented the timeline. 3 weeks later, project management software license renewal came due. I'd always handled renewals. But Mitchell never formally assigned it after I stopped volunteering. When the notification arrived, I forwarded it, FYI, license expires April 3rd. Please advise if you'd like me to prioritize this or if another team member should handle. Current cost $8,400 annually. Please confirm budget approval. No response. Follow up 2 days later, checking in, renewal needed by end of day Friday to avoid service interruption. Still nothing. License expired Friday at 11:59 p.m. Monday morning, chaos. Nobody could access project files. Client deliverable delayed. Mitchell called emergency meeting. Him, Diane, Colin, 3 department heads. How did this happen? Mitchell demanded, looking at me. I opened my laptop. Showed the email thread. Renewal notification sent March 20th. I forwarded it same day asking for guidance and budget approval. Sent follow-up March 31st flagging the Friday deadline. Both emails here. Mitchell's face reddened. You should have just handled it. I handle day-to-day operations within my 40-hour week per my job description. License management for 17 enterprise systems is full-time work alone. I've flagged this capacity issue for months. If you'd like me to own this, I'm happy to discuss adding it formally with appropriate compensation. Otherwise, it needs delegation. Diane leaned forward. Kira, this feels like you're deliberately letting things fail. I'm working within my job description. I've repeatedly requested written clarity on my role and compensation. Those requests were ignored. So I'm doing exactly what I was hired to do. If that's inadequate, I'm happy to discuss what additional responsibilities you'd like and how to structure that appropriately. Colin looked at Mitchell. Why wasn't this being managed? Kira has always handled. Kira has been doing work significantly outside her job description for 3 years without appropriate compensation, I interrupted quietly. I have documentation. Silence. Colin's expression shifted. Documentation? Yes. Emails, project records, timesheets, my original offer letter versus actual responsibilities. I started keeping detailed records in January when it became clear there was significant disconnect between my role and compensation. Colin closed his laptop. Kira, I'd like to meet with you and our HR director, Nora Williams, tomorrow. 2 p.m. Please bring your documentation. That evening, I printed everything. 73 pages. 3-ring binder with color-coded tabs. My hands shook so badly punching holes I had to stop twice. I'd practiced my speech 12 times. Trying to stay calm instead of angry or crying. Barely slept. Woke at 5 a.m., stomach in knots. Couldn't eat. Arrived at 1:55 p.m. in my best suit, the one I'd bought for the promotion that never happened. Nora was already there. Mid-50s, kind eyes, serious expression. I placed the binder on the table. Kira, Colin said, walk us through what you've documented. First tab, emails from Mitchell over 3 years promising promotions and raises. Starting January 2 years ago, Senior IT Operations Manager, $25,000 increase. Email confirming it was done pending Q3 review. Q3 where it delayed to Q1. Q1 where it delayed indefinitely. Second tab, my offer letter and job description versus actual work. Offer letter specifies 40 hours managing day-to-day operations. This spreadsheet documents actual projects, infrastructure architecture, enterprise migrations, security oversight, vendor negotiations. Work requiring senior IT manager or director level. Third tab, my hours. Averaging 62 hours weekly for 2 years. As salaried exempt, I'm not entitled to overtime, but that assumes work is genuinely executive level and appropriately compensated. Given my salary versus scope, this may constitute misclassification. Nora's face went pale. Fourth tab, company financial performance during the freeze. Record profits. Executive bonuses. A freeze that only applied to non-executive staff. Fifth tab, past 2 months where I returned to 40 hours and requested role clarification in writing. Mitchell's responses. Projects that failed. Emergency contractor fees. I closed the binder. I don't want legal action. I don't want to file wage theft complaints. I want what I was promised, a role reflecting my contributions, compensation matching my work, leadership that keeps their word. But I won't continue being exploited. If this company can't offer fair treatment, I need to know. Nora spoke first. Kira, how many others on your team are in similar situations? I don't know. I've only documented my experience. But you suspect others? Tessa works 55-hour weeks minimum. Jordan covers 2 roles since his teammate quit and wasn't replaced. Rachel was promised promotion 18 months ago that never came. But they'd have to speak for themselves. Colin rubbed his temples. We need to investigate immediately. Nora nodded. Kira, what you've presented is serious. This represents significant policy violations and potential legal exposure. We'll interview colleagues, review Mitchell's practices, audit the department. I understand. This may take weeks. Continue working normally and don't discuss the investigation. Can you do that? Yes. Colin leaned forward. Kira, I want to apologize. If even half of this is true, we failed you. That's on leadership. We will make it right. The investigation took 3 weeks. The longest 3 weeks of my life. Every morning, 5 a.m. anxiety. Every day wondering if they'd fire me instead. Every evening rehearsing what I'd say if they chose Mitchell. Barely ate. Lost another 6 pounds. On day 12, something happened that made my blood run cold. Called into Nora's office. Mitchell was there. He'd filed a formal complaint against me. Nora handed me a document. Kira, Mitchell submitted a performance improvement plan citing concerns about your work quality, responsiveness, and team collaboration. He's documented incidents where you refused assigned work and showed insubordination. My stomach dropped. I need to respond to these allegations. Mitchell, walk through the specific incidents. Over the past 6 weeks, Kira has repeatedly refused urgent requests, left during critical failures, and created a hostile environment by accusing me of mismanagement. March 19th, she refused to fix authentication failure. April 2nd, she allowed critical license to expire. She's been insubordinate, combative. I question whether she's the right fit. My hands shook under the table. Kira, do you want to respond? May I see the dates on Mitchell's complaint? Nora slid it across. Filed April 18th. This complaint was submitted 3 days after Mitchell learned about the investigation into his management practices. Every incident cited occurred after I started requesting role clarification in writing. The timeline is notable. I pulled out my phone. March 19th, Mitchell called about authentication failure. I didn't refuse. I asked him to prioritize my workload in writing since I was on another urgent project. Email exchange here. He chose the consultant. Scrolled. April 2nd, I didn't allow license expiration. I forwarded Mitchell the renewal March 20th and March 31st, asking for budget approval and prioritization. He didn't respond. Both messages with red receipts. I looked at Nora. This isn't performance. This is retaliation for filing a complaint. Mitchell's face reddened. That's absurd. Is it? You've supervised me 3 years. Have you ever filed a performance plan against me? Ever documented a single concern? Silence. You haven't. Because my performance has been exemplary. You've said so dozens of times. This wasn't filed because of performance. It was filed because I stopped working unpaid overtime and documented the exploitation. Nora closed her folder. Mitchell, we're done. Kira, thank you. I barely made it to my car before crying. Angry crying. He tried to get me fired for standing up for myself. 2 days later, Nora called. Kira, the investigation revealed significant findings. We interviewed your teammates. All 4. Pause. They all reported similar experiences. Promised promotions that never came. Expanded workloads without compensation. Pressure for excessive hours without overtime. Tessa broke down crying. She's been doing 2 jobs 18 months since her teammate left unreplaced. Rachel has 2 years of documentation of Mitchell promising senior analyst role he kept delaying. My throat tightened. When we asked Mitchell to explain technical implementations he presented to the board, infrastructure you built, he couldn't answer basic questions. He'd been claiming credit for teamwork while blocking their advancement to justify managing costs. Nora's voice was gentle but firm. Kira, you weren't the problem. You exposed systemic wage suppression and credit theft. On behalf of this company, I'm sorry it took your complaint for us to see it. May 3rd, called into Colin's office. No Mitchell. No Diane. Just Colin and Nora. Kira, Mitchell Hargrove's employment has been terminated for cause. The investigation found he systematically misrepresented employee contributions, suppressed wages to inflate cost savings metrics, and retaliated against an employee who filed legitimate complaint. This is unacceptable. Diane Sutherland has been demoted to senior financial analyst. She approved compensation freezes while authorizing executive bonuses, a conflict she failed to disclose. He slid a folder across. We're offering you Director of IT Operations, the role you should have had 2 years ago, $115,000 base salary. Plus $22,000 retroactive back pay for documented overtime and formal written apology from executive leadership. We're hiring 2 IT staff to bring department to appropriate capacity. I read the offer letter. Director of IT Operations. Clear job description. Clear hours. Clear compensation. Everything in writing. One more thing. We'd like to offer you Mitchell's CTO position. I looked up, surprised. You have the technical expertise and leadership integrity. The role is yours. Long pause. Thank you. But I don't want the CTO role. Colin blinked. Why? Because I don't want to work 70-hour weeks ever again, even with title and pay. I want a job that respects my time and compensates me fairly for actual hours. The director role does that. The CTO role doesn't. I closed the folder. I accept the director position. And I appreciate the apology. That was 18 months ago. Today I'm 31, running a healthy, well-resourced IT department. Team of 4. Clear boundaries. A boss, the new CTO they hired externally, who respects both. 0 outages in the past year. I leave at 5 p.m. every day. Rebuild relationships with family. Made my cousin's wedding. Joined a climbing gym, go 3 times weekly. Dating someone I have time to see. I got my life back. My team is different too. Tessa got senior IT analyst with $18,000 raise. Jordan got needed headcount. Rachel moved to a department that values her. We have boundaries. Documentation. Respect. Mitchell? Last I checked his LinkedIn, seeking new opportunities for 16 months. When companies do reference checks and discover termination for wage violations and credit theft, opportunities dry up. I didn't destroy his career. The truth did. 3 months ago, a new hire joined. Bailey, 25, bright-eyed, eager. First week, she stayed until 8 p.m. every night. Friday afternoon, I pulled her aside. Bailey, I noticed you've been staying late all week. I just want to make a good impression. Show I'm committed. I sat down. Gestured for her to sit. What does your offer letter say about hours? 40 hours per week? Are you being asked to work more? No, not exactly. I just want to prove myself. I pulled out my old offer letter. My documentation. The timeline. Let me tell you a story about the difference between proving yourself and being exploited. I walked her through everything. The promises. The unpaid overtime. The retaliation. The investigation. You don't prove yourself by working yourself to death. You prove yourself by delivering excellent work within sustainable boundaries. Any leader who asks you to sacrifice health and time without compensation isn't worth proving yourself to. Bailey's eyes widened. What should I do? Work your 40 hours. Do excellent work during those hours. Ask for everything in writing. Document your contributions. If anyone makes you feel guilty for having boundaries, come talk to me. Thank you, Kira. We protect each other here. That's what good teams do. Here's what I learned. You don't need sabotage. You don't need revenge. You need documentation and boundaries. When someone breaks promises, document it with dates and screenshots. When someone asks you to work outside your role, request it in writing. When someone takes credit for your work, keep copies with timestamps. When they refuse to compensate you fairly, stop doing work you're not paid to do. It's not revenge. It's self-respect. And when you protect yourself with facts and boundaries, the truth does the rest. The system didn't fail me. I learned how to use it. HR policies exist for a reason. Employment laws exist for a reason. Documentation requirements exist for a reason. When you know your rights and keep receipts, you don't need games. You just need to stop allowing exploitation. Mitchell thought I'd keep working unpaid overtime forever because I was passionate. He thought I wouldn't push back because I needed the job. He thought I'd be too afraid to document and report. He was wrong on all three. Because the moment I stopped doing 3 jobs for 1 salary, his image as an efficient, cost-saving leader collapsed. All I did was work my contracted hours. Keep records. Request clarity. Report the truth. That was enough. Some victories don't look like explosions. They look like leaving at 5 p.m. when everyone else stays late. They look like a binder with 73 pages of receipts. They look like sitting across from your CEO and saying calmly, "I have documentation." The best revenge isn't making someone suffer. It's watching them face natural consequences of their own actions. So if you're working unpaid overtime, if your boss keeps breaking promises, if you're doing 3 jobs for 1 salary, start documenting. Today. Keep every email. Screenshot every promise. Track your hours. Save your work. Request everything in writing. When they tell you to be a team player, ask them to define it, in writing, with clear expectations and compensation. Voice quiet but powerful. You don't owe anyone your health. You don't owe anyone unpaid labor. You don't owe anyone your boundaries. I didn't destroy my boss. I just stopped doing his job for him. And the difference was devastating. My name is Kira Mendoza. I was doing 3 jobs for 1 salary while my boss got rich. So I started working exactly what they paid me for. And the truth handled the rest. If this resonated, if you've been overworked, underpaid, or had promises broken, subscribe. Because standing up for yourself isn't revenge. It's knowing your worth. Document everything. Set boundaries. Know your rights. The truth is the most powerful weapon you have.